Good afternoon from Yami BTV. Wishing you all well, of course. So we know the name now of the perpetrator that caused the carnage on that train on Saturday. His name is Anthony Williams, and he's been remanded into custody today. Which, if you think about it, for 10 attempted murders, he also headbutted a police officer in the station, right? But he was handcuffed at the time. He got tasered as well outside the police station. How did he get a chance to assault a policeman? So there is reports from some people saying that he assaulted or stabbed somebody else in London. But hold on. We believe there is a report coming that 9 hours prior to all the carnage, someone or two people reported to the police in seeing Anthony Williams acting strange. But they don't say, well, as far as I know at the moment, they don't say no one was attacked, right? Now, could it have been prevented? Or was it the police were on his tail from that journey? Because it seems like he came from quite far up north before he got to Peterborough, London, and back down and that kind of stuff. Because if he would have stabbed someone beforehand, why not have done the carnage where that incident would have had to have taken place? So we believe the latter of what I've just said, that there was a report going through. When did the police get notified that this was going on that train, with all the carnage? Now, first reports, this is why sometimes it's not worth listening to early news reports. Well, you listen to them to break some insight, but remember, it's early days when news channels are going up there and saying things. Remember, the first few TV channels were saying that the police knew 34 minutes beforehand. 30 to 44 minutes from where? Because as far as we knew, the train was 18 minutes going from London to Huntington. And then there's another report saying that it was 14 minutes that they got the knowledge that that incident was taking place on the train, with people phoning the police and that kind of stuff. And then the first available stop would have been Huntington, right? So how much time did they have to prepare? And why wasn't he apprehended on the platform? The train worker who got stabbed up, sadly, was on the platform. So the video that you saw, it was outside, but two of them reported that when he was that geezer, Anthony Williams, who's apprehended, they were saying, yeah, he got apprehended on the platform, but that's clearly outside Huntington train station. It's not inside, so I'll put the thing up there so you can see. It's clearly outside. So were they lying in wait for him, or did they just get there? How much time did they have? Why didn't they go on the platform? Because quite clearly, you see from the other sides of that train station, he could have easily escaped and jumped over the other way, where he could have ended up in farmlands and other isolated places where he had a chance to get away. So I'm baffling my brain. Taxi drivers in that area, I've got friends in that area, are saying that no, they were waiting outside. But then how much time? Because headquarters down there, police headquarters from that station is 7.5 minutes. With a blue light, that's about 3.5 minutes. So what was it then that they were waiting outside for? Because surely you would have had to go onto the platform for such a dangerous individual, or at the time suggesting there might have been other individuals, which we know now there was some heroes involved in this thing. Thank God for those heroes. It feels like everybody, as much as it ended up very, very bad with serious injuries for a lot of people, and the fear and the madness that went on, so far so good. No one got to lose their life. So did we have the rub of the green with the timing that we're not even safe to even travel no more? In England, that we could just expect to go out and be on our P's and Q's and be fearful that we could even get on a train and we're going to get attacked randomly by a raving lunatic. And how many of them have there been in the last? And then they say it's not terror related, but okay, all right, we're not sure what kind of terror, but it's still terror related because everybody was in terror. It's madness, isn't it? It's mad. So that bit puzzles me because at first people were saying that the video outside that station, that might have been someone else. It wasn't. That was the person shouting, "Kill me, kill me, kill me." Or Allah Akbar, whatever the suggestions are in that way. So was it a suicide mission? This is what you have to ask yourself. Was it a bit of work to go to what their mad heads believe in, or was it just mental health from a man who clearly lost the plot and maybe wanted to die? It's not really, you can only go with what you got at the moment, but I believe the police were already on his tail, and they must have lost the tail from the initial report somewhere. So they got to pick up the pieces, nearly get to where they're going and go somewhere else. And then when he's got to where he's going, then they find out he's actually doing more than what they were onto him for. And the first available chance that they got to stop at that point. And of course, that might have been the driver's thinking, because when you're getting the reports from the police, they think, but it doesn't mean that they weren't onto him already. So I'm not suggesting that they ignored those early reports about this madman, Anthony Williams, right? But it might be that they just were a little bit late, or if they did ignore it, because they wouldn't have ignored him stabbing someone, would they? They might have ignored him acting strange and someone thinking this geezer's a bit off key. He might have been shouting things, saying he's going to do things. You don't know. So I go along with that theory. What happens next is that he's been remanded into custody, all right? And worth mentioning, there's no other charges before, what happened there in the police station and on the train itself. There's no other charges towards anything else yet. But he goes to prison first, like many do. He gets assessed and he ends up in a mental institution, mate.